Hello there, I'm Paul Murphy. I promise to make these following chapters introductions very brief. If this is the first time you've come across this particular series of videos, darling, is it just me or you seem to be becoming so remote to me these days? I was going to change the film, but I'll leave it for a minute. Where shall I put this? On the first date as well. This introduction would have been brief. I have to put on the guitar there. They make good capos. Where I get to? Oh yes, so this is video 2 of a series by me, Paul Murphy, of me reading my book A Christmas Carol. No, not that one, a different one. And this is part 2, as it probably says in the title bar down below. And if you've come back after listening to part 1, I'll try and stay on message. And you'd think I would have just marked my place, wouldn't I? So I know we were in stage, was page 18 we were on? Page 15. Have a nice day there. Here we go to, right, so to a brief recap, so we're a quarter of the way through chapter 1 after 25 minutes. Okay, so Mr. Tockleworth and Mr. Cleverwick enter. They have just gone round and knocked on Scrooge's door. Right done. And, oh, you heard it before. I wish I'd copyrighted that rhythm, I tell you, man. Talk about Happy Birthday making a lot of royalties. Right. Find me a second. Hey there. Yeah, so it's the start of the book. I mean, you know the main story from Dickens in any case. And so they've just gone round to knock on Mr. Scrooge's door on Christmas Eve to ask for a donation. Mr. Tockleworth and Mr. Cleverwick entered. The room was sparse, barren and dismal. By coincidence, also the name of Mr. Tockleworth's solicitors. A broken wooden floor held 2 desks, one at the far end covered in mildew, moss and detritus. By coincidence, also the names of Mr. Cleverwick's solicitors. And one in the centre of the room, at which sat a middle-aged man, unless he died tomorrow, in which case he was a 99% aged man. He beckoned them over, and Mr. Tockleworth and Mr. Cleverwick came to the side of his desk, one on the left and one on the left as well. If I start chuckling at points, I do apologise, but I haven't read this since apart from one chapter, I've not read this since I finished it on the 22nd of January this year. It's 14th of December 22. Well, I was when I started, I might be 2033 by now. Where do we get to? Let's go back and recap. Oh, just lost my page now. Let's go back and recap the last sentence, because I enjoyed it. He beckoned them over, and Mr. Tockleworth and Mr. Cleverwick came to the side of his desk, one on the left and one on the left as well. I'll have even more that time because I knew what was coming. The man extended his hand. "Bob Scratchit," he said. "No, and don't call me Bob," said Mr. Cleverwick. "No, I meant I am Bob Scratchit. I work for Mr. Scrooge." "Doing what?" "I'm his accounts clerk." "Then why are you dressed as a French maid?" "Okay, I am mainly his accounts clerk. So, what brings you here? A horse and carriage. The 10:15 from Waterloo." "It's 4:45. The horse was in the carriage. Bloody PETA. Look at these blisters on my hands." "From pulling the carriage?" Yeah, let's go with that. "This is Mr. Tockleworth. He is my associate." "That is cruel of you to call him that. And is he a good C8 at least?" "What? No, a C8 isn't a thing?" "Goodness, you are me. And I thought Mr. Scrooge was unkind." No, Scratchit. I am not being unkind. I mean, a C8 is not anything that exists. It is merely the other half of the word. Oh my, I cannot go on. Look, please, call Mr. Scrooge again, so we may be gone from here. We have lots of other addresses to call at, and the hour is approaching late." "Yes, and we still have to work out whose turn it is to knock next," added Mr. Tockleworth. A point that, unless you've read chapter 1, or heard chapter 1, or seen chapter 1, or read in the leaves of your last cup of tea, chapter 1, you won't understand what I'm talking about at all. But then again, most people don't. Where do we get to here? Mr. Ebenezer Scrooge makes his appearance. Just then there was a shuffling sound from behind Scratchit. Pick a card, any card, he said, producing a deck. Tockleworth chose one. Is it the Queen of Diamonds? No, it's a card. Well, I know that. Is it a card with the Queen of Diamonds on it? No, it says, Scratch it. If I find you trying to drum up business for your out-of-hours magic show again, you are fired. Hey, don't grab. Those cards cannot be tasty. All 52 in one go. Is that the next trick? Is turning blue the third trick? Would you like a drink of water? Why am I in this high-pitched voice? Why are eyes suddenly filled with terror? The two men followed Scratchit's gaze at a safe distance. Into their view came an old, wizened old man, dressed in layer upon layer of seen-better days clothing, peering them out of rounded, seen-better visitor glasses. He threw Scratchit a scornful glance, and the clerk put his head down towards his desk and began frantically scribbling in the ledger. As the old man approached the two visitors slowly, his unwavering stare holding them in thrall, and as he came up close to them they felt their bones chill, and also made a mental note to invent deodorant. An empty monotone voice emanated from cracked, spoke-better words lips. Pardon me a second. Hello. What kind of voice is that? Hello. Gonna sound like a hooker on Fleet Night, doesn't it? Hello, big boy. So sorry. And apologies to fleets and ladies of a timeshare nature the world over. We're all going to make a living. I wish I did. Where did I get to here? Right. Hello, I am Scrooge. Then you must be very well bred. I am. I see, because your name is Scrooge. I know. I'm messing these voices up left, right and centre. And I said you must be very well read. I know. I was there when you said it. Or rather, here when you said it, since I haven't moved since your utterance. And I said, I am, because I do happen to be well read. See, it is a play on words. I got that. See, read, stroke, read, R-E-A-D, R-E-D. I got the connection. You didn't know I was funny, did you? I still don't. If you hadn't been well read, it would have worked. Ah, aren't you sweet? If you hadn't been an idiot, we wouldn't be having a conversation. We have wasted the last 3 minutes. Time is money, you know. I know. You paid me 3 hours 12 minutes last week instead of wages. Remembered Scratchit. Yes, mused Scrooge. I overpaid you by 6 minutes. I'll have to take it out of your bonus. I'm getting a bonus this year? No. So by bonus, I mean I would take it out of by boning your wife. Well, you get the picture. Bonus. That is awful. Well, it's a bit spotty bombing. Can't I work the debt off, Mr. Scrooge? But will you? Or will you just try and defraud me? You won't be the first employee I have caught with their hands in the clock. Oh no, Mr. Scrooge. In fact, I will pay it off at time and a half. And how is that going to work exactly? For every 10 minutes I work for nothing, I will do 15 minutes work. I'm going to have to do the maths on that one. Now then, back to you two. Who are you? Why are you here? And how long until you leave? I'm having to change some of the words here. Sorry, I keep looking at the viewfinder there. Oh. Sorry, I got enthralled by my... I can see my children in the viewfinder there. You don't want to know that. Let's get back on the book. Where did we get to? I'm going to have to do the maths on that one. Now then, back to you two. Who are you? Why are you here? And how long until you leave? That is not very hospitable, sir. Well, this is not a hospital. No, hospitality is nothing to do with hospitals. Really? I ate at McDucknold's the other year. Don't sue me. I'm a speech impediment. I meant to say McDucknold's the other year. I was in hospital for a week afterwards. A week? I am white. Oh, I've lost all touch of the voices here. Said the horse. I want to go back and read that bonus line again. I found that very funny. Really? duck nods the other year and was in hospital for a week afterwards. A week? Oh, I am a week. What are you going on about? No, you said you were in hospital for a week. It must have been something really bad. I was standing for a Victorian hospital. No, what I meant was your illness must have been serious to be kept in hospital for a week. Oh no, I was not kept in for a week. The first 6 days I was waiting for someone to croak so I could slip into their bed and get seen for free before anyone realised. Hospital beds cost money, you know. No, they don't. Oh, they told me they did when I tried to take mine home with me. But I came in with it, I cried. I always take my own bed with me when I stay overnight somewhere. Then why does this one say property of Streatham Hospital on it? They said. That is my mother's pet name for me, I replied. I don't believe you. Well, 'tis true, ask her cat, Streatham Hospital Cuddly Chops. And what happened to Mr. Scuttleham? Who he, pray tell? He was in this bed. This is a discourse now. I had to work this out. I tried to write... Yeah, I'll do a quick aside here. The left one. And here's the B-side. Oh, I do like to be beside the A-side. What was the B-side of Roxy Music's Street Life? Can anyone remember? I don't think it was Do the Strand. Street Life was the first single I bought. I bought 3 at the same time. My Cuckoo, My Own Snyder, Street Life by Roxy Music. A brilliant song, by the way. Wish everybody would leave me alone, yeah. And another one by an act whose name I don't think we're allowed to mention in public anymore. Where did I get to? Oh yeah, so the idea of this book was, when I used to do my other books, people always used to tell me that the bits they enjoyed most was when I would do the 2 character interplay bits. And so what I tried to do with this book was trying to read it and disguise the fact that I'm stifling some air from a hastily drunk cup of tea trying to come out. And of this end, I should point out, I wanted to write the entire book as a conversation, and I think about 90% of it is conversation between characters, and about 10% of it is like exposition and scene setting and stuff like that. So now I'm going to work this out myself here. My goodness me, talk about pi to 17 places. So this is Scrooge reciting his conversation with a hospital employee, and he's telling it to Mr. Cubworth and Mr. Tockerwick. Hey, this is free. You can buy it if you want to do it in your own time. I've heard that I've heard that sentence before. I tell you. Where did we get to? Right. So Scrooge is in hospital talking to the nurse. What? 'Tis true, ask a cat, Streatham Hospital Cuddly Chops. Shall I do it in a female voice? And what happened to Mr. Scuttleham, who was in this bed? Oh, I've gone too far. And what happened to Mr. Scuttleham? Who he, pray tell? He was in this bed. How can you tell? Those are his pyjamas you're wearing. He got better. Got better? He was in a coma. Yes, and he enjoyed it so much, he went home to recommend it to his wife. Very relaxing, apparently. He was in a coma, and he and he had lost both his legs in a threshing machine incident. Spoiler alert, never try to fight one when you're pissed. Yes, they grew back. His legs grew back? Well, it's kind of you to back me up. Always nice to have confirmation. I am not confirming it. I'm saying it in utter astonishment that you think I would ever believe such a thing. How dare you slight the man? How am I slighting him? You were the one coming up with such fantastic tales, Mr. Scrooge. Then how dare you slight me, nurse? I am just lying here trying to steal his bed out the door and up the street to my home. Why, you have set my recovery back a month now, 2 if it pays more. Do you seriously expect me to believe that, first of all, Mr. Scuttleham woke from a deep coma, and secondly, that upon doing so, he discovered his legs had suddenly grown back? I believed him. I don't see why you can't. Legs do not grow back. Oh. Maybe he was just short then. Just 2 pages to go, folks. And furthermore, you are trying to tell us that rather than call for a doctor and say, look at this miracle, I am awake and have regained the use, or rather the possession of my legs. What he did was to say, here mate, I'm off for a waddle. You can have my bed and my pyjamas if you want. They are both still warm. I won't tell you why. Oh, mama. Stick with me, baby. Right, back to Scrooge. Yes, that is exactly what happened. And you did not think to say, let's call for a doctor and get you the once over, or rather, oh, thank God for bronchitis. Oh. Oh. And you did not think to say, let's call for a doctor and get you the once over, or rather the half over. No. No. He was so no. No. He was so happy. I did not want to interrupt. I did not wish to interrupt his joy. I patted him on the back, apologised for knocking him over, gave him my card and told me to look him up on his 183rd birthday, providing it was a Tuesday. And off he went. You are telling me he left here on foot? Not exactly, although I expect he would like to say that. And naked? He is a proud man. With 6 feet of snow lying on the ground? He is a positive thinker. Also, he can hold his breath a very long time. Also, he can hold his breath a long time. Oh, I'm so sorry. And now, not that I dispute your story, Mr. Scrooge, but could you offer any explanation as to why Nurse Goodworthy has just whispered in my ear that Mr. Scuttleham has apparently been discovered on the front lawn of the hospital, frozen solid and dressed up as a garden gnome? You are the doctor. I would not dream of offering a diagnosis. It is not a diagnosis, it is a fact. The poor man has been removed from his bed. The poor man has been removed from his bed, put on the lawn, had a rectal probe put in his hands to make it look as if he is holding a fishing rod, and left to freeze. Oh no, bloody NHS cuts. Tut. And upon that, the doctor seemed to lose control, really. Oh, here we're going back to Scrooge speaking to the 3 people in his office. Overwork, I expect. Last I knew, Nurse Goodworthy was trying to sedate her using the very latest in anaesthesia, a large wooden mallet, and I wheeled myself home. Terrible experience. You won't catch me eating McDucknalds again, I can tell you. And not just because they expect money in exchange for their produce. No, from hence on I shall go to that new one that has just opened up in Soho. What is it called now? Oh yes, the Bugger King. No, it is not entirely different. No, that's the Tuckerwish Hut, though. That is where Mr. Scrooge wishes to go. You let him, interrupted Scratch, chuckling to himself. Anyway, said Scrooge, looking his visitor straight in the eye, which is more than Mr. Scuttle has been able to do. What can I do for you, gentlemen, or to be more exact, what can I do for you that will make me a profit? Well, Mr. Scrooge, it is more what you can do for the local community. I'm sensing a downturn in my feelings towards you, which is ominous since I hated you on sight. I see. Well, Mr. Tockleworth and I are trying to get money for the poor. Well, thank you for the offer, but I have no storage space. What? No, we are not selling the poor. We're trying to help them in their hour, day, week, month, year, lifetime of hardship. And we're here to ask if you would care to make a fiscal donation that can be used to provide food and heating for the poor. That Mr. Scrooge is stronger than he looks, said Mr. Tockleworth 5 minutes later, as he extricated himself from the snow on the pavement. Indeed he is, replied Mr. Coverwick, in a very strange voice, as he climbed down off the canopy of the shop opposite. Okay, I think we finally finished chapter 1 there, have we? Yes, right, okay, you've been very kind with your time. I'm going to turn this off and change my underwear. And join me in chapter 3.